Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 18th. It is 6:23 right now. We got market opening up in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just gotta send this link out to you guys here. Right, send this out to the group. Looks like we are good to go here. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 18th. It is 6:25 right now. We got market opening up in about 5 minutes. I've pretty much marked everything up here already, pre-market. I'm currently using a different, well, I'm using the same platform. I'm still using Zoom to stream our live session, but I started with some different settings. So if there's anything wrong with the live stream, guys, just let me know because I tried to improve it from 720p to 1080p. So the way of signing into these live sessions were a little different for me. So if there's any problems with the stream, guys, just let me know. But I just posted the PDF over here showing the major trading levels to watch. So key biases for today, guys, market is range bound ahead of the FOMC meeting. So we're probably going to get, ranging market today up until maybe later today once the Fed releases the rate decision and they have their press conference after with Powell. Um, as of now, price may slightly be bullish lean intraday as price continues to hold above like certain price points and VWAP. So price is currently above the VWAP right now. So this means that price will try to stay bullish, but it can easily drop. So if you look over here down below, I have this right here, which is a VWAP zone. So this is going to act as a price magnet. So as price pushes away, it's going to try to pull back to this area. And then this area below, it's going to be the point of control. So it might push down to this area, bounce off, retest it. And if it comes down here, it's going to probably keep bouncing from this area here. Below here is going to be the support. So the support's a little far down. It's right here at 42,454. So obviously once we get closer to that area, we may look for opportunities down there. But as of now, this might be the area where price may continue to, just bounce around for a bit. Breakout for today looks like it might be a possible sell. I'll let you guys know once we get closer to that. My sweep areas are going to be somewhere around here. So this is probably where I'm going to be looking for my sweep near the overnight high right here. So see what happens here when market opens up. But that looks like the area of my sweep right there that I'll be looking to get in from. All right, looks like we're good. So again, if you guys want access to this PDF where I have all of the information with regard to my key trading levels, possible setups to look out for the news events today. So the housing starts already came out, housing starts and job claims data. and the NHB Housing Market Index, I believe. Or is that tomorrow? I think that is it today? It is today, actually. Yeah, so the market's kind of well, with regard to the news, the market's kind of scrunched up today because tomorrow's a holiday. So they kind of added a lot of stuff today that would typically be on Thursday. So we had the housing market index data, building permits, jobs data, et cetera. It was pretty mixed for the day. The big news event for today is going to be the Fed meeting. So the economic rate decision, which is probably going to stay neutral for today, economic projections, and the Fed conference right after with Jerome Powell. So just key things to look out for there. Other than that, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get some volatility today. Like I said, we have Fed day today, so we might not get very much volatility, but we'll kind of anticipate if it does happen, it'll probably happen a little later. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get into some entries here early on. So, all right, guys, market's going to open shortly in about 30 seconds. Breakout for today is going to be a sell if anybody's looking to take that. I'll keep waiting for opportunities here to come up. Looks like there's possibly an MPS V2 that's currently running right now. This is a pre-market MPS V2. The ATR is currently 10, so you probably want to go for something smaller, like maybe a 20 point. But we'll come back and take a look at this in a few. So breakout for today is a sell. It's currently running down there. Market is now open. Huge spike to the downside right there. Price is currently at the VWAP price magnet battle zone. All right, so the breakout for today is running in profit. It might have already hit TP by now. Not quite, it's still running down there. All right, full TP for the breakout today, guys. So full TP for the breakout both days today, yesterday and today. Looks like Talanji caught it. Nice work, Talanji. Hey, Sam, morning. Yeah, so the video should look better today, guys, for the stream. If you guys are on the stream should look better. Instead of going live directly on Zoom, I had to go through like a couple different loops to set this up as 1080p because normally it's on 720p, but I was able to get a little higher. I can probably go higher to like 4K, but I don't want to do that. I'll just leave it here at 1080p, at least for now. All right, so breakout here right there. Price is pretty much bouncing right here off the sessions. So we're getting a rejection right here off the sessions and the point of control zone right here. So we talked about this earlier before market open. This is going to be a possible bounce area. I'm not really looking for, or I guess technically, possibly a liquidity sweep right here. It's just a little tricky because there's two levels of liquidity sweep that are in both areas right here. Let's see, so there's a liquidity sweep that may happen right here, possible liquidity sweep that may happen down here. The ATR is currently at 18 right now, so it's not super duper high, but it is it's a little elevated at the moment. Let me clean up these areas of liquidity here because they've already been taken out. The VWAP is sitting right here down the middle. Let's go over here to the monthly chart. So not really much of a big move here on the monthly chart or at the week. This is the 1 hour, but this is the monthly resistance, monthly support. So we're not getting anywhere near the monthly resistance or support. Looking over here at the weekly resistance support, we're not really getting much here either. So yeah, we'll keep following. We'll keep following to see. if we get closer to these levels. On the 1 minute, things are a little scrunched up, of course. Here we go. As price kind of bounces around. So like I said earlier, guys, this zone right here is considered the VWAP zone. This is the price magnet battle zone. This is probably where price is going to keep kind of sitting at and pushing between. So we got price kind of pushing in and around this area. If price pushes away from this area, the next level is going to be down here for it to push around to. So we might get some consolidation range around these points right here. There's no sweep areas here for me right now. Um, we'll keep going with this. Perfect. Yeah, shifts a big difference in quality. Please do this moving forward. Yeah, if this is great, I think tomorrow maybe I'll try the 4K or whatever's higher. I think there's 2K and then 4K. I'll just keep increasing the quality of the video. Um, and uh and we'll just see what works best. Because the thing is my internet's super, super fast and my computer's super, super strong. So it should be able to handle 1080p and 4K and 2K. So we'll see. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, shifts at 1080p solid. I think 4K would just require more bandwidth for you and us. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I'll probably leave it at 1080p for a while, guys. If you guys like this, we'll obviously keep pumping it up, but I think 1080 is good enough. Sam said most likely interest rate pause today, right? Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty neutral, Sam. So we got the interest rate news later today at 11 o'clock, guys. It's at 4.5%. It's probably going to stay at that price or at that percentage point. The key thing that you want to look for is going to be Powell after. So the interest rates are probably going to stay at 4.5, but what you want to look for is what Powell's going to say next, because Powell's almost on his way out, right? Trump's been trying to get rid of Powell for a while now. I think this is his last term, so once his term ends, he's probably going to get booted, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens in um in a few hours once he releases. Because the thing is, he probably won't increase or decrease today, specifically today, this month, but he'll probably make that change next month or the month after. I know by the end of the year it'll happen. There'll be a change, of course. All right, guys, we got price pushing back up. This is completely fine. This is what we anticipated for today. As you saw from the PDF I mentioned over here, market is range bound ahead of the FOMC rate decision and press conference later today. So we're probably going to be in a bit of a range. You can see price here is already ranging. I have the VWAP on the chart. I usually don't have the VWAP because price is away from it, but you can see over here that the VWAP is right down the middle, right? That means that price is probably just going to stay down the middle as it continues to push around. So a couple of things that you might want to look for is just, if you want to focus on the VWAP, look for possible bounces off the VWAP, like maybe a break and retest, continuation up higher, break below, continuation lower, but not really much is going to happen here. So you can see over here, prices respecting the zones and the levels that I drew up. So I drew these levels here pre-market. Um, Here, let's go on a higher time frame real quick so we can see a bit more. So here's a 5 minute time frame. On the 5 minute time frame, price is currently sitting right here down the middle. It's a consolidating ranging down here. I have some liquidity zones right here down the middle as well. My first area of possible opportunity will be up here. This is the overnight high. It also lines up with liquidity. So this is going to be my sweep level right here that I'll be looking for. Up here is going to be resistance one. Down here is going to be support one, and down further is going to be support two. So if price drops below here to support two, we're probably going to shift into a bearish bias, right? Possibly. I don't think that's going to happen. You might have to wait until later today. I don't think this is going to happen because it's so far from current price, right? This is 300 points. So it's pretty far off. Pretty far off. The resistance from current price over here is it's a lot closer. It's about 100 points. So we'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Price is now breaking through this liquidity. I'll take that off. There's liquidity here, but there's no confluences. So I'm not really looking for sweeps around these areas. What I'm going to look for next is I'm going to look for a possible bounce off any of these zones here. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was how we looked at like what strategies are most profitable for like Apex trading. I asked the AI about that because I was kind of curious to see what it would spit out, and it's actually exactly what we thought, or exactly what I thought, which is what we're doing here. So when I looked up what's the most profitable strategy for funding companies and whatnot, it said here, and I'll see if I can pull it up. The AI is just getting a little smarter with a lot of stuff here. Yeah, so basically I asked AI, what is the most reliable futures trading strategy for passing getting payouts with Apex trader funding? And it said that it basically said that it is VWAP and liquidity sweep scalping system, which is exactly what we're doing here. You guys have seen how we look for MPS V2s into liquidity sweeps. That's exactly what's been said to be the most reliable and consistently profitable strategy for trading funding companies, which is what we're doing here. Um, so basically, I'm going to stick to the game plan. Nothing's changing. We're still going to stick to what we've been looking at. I was just curious to see if like any other strategies would work better, but for the most part, they confirm the same thing that we're doing here. It's just they're using VWAP for their direction of price. For us, we're using momentum, right? I think momentum's a little more ideal with identifying direction, but basically the main gist of it is you're looking for the same pattern we're looking for. We're looking for some sort of sweep, which would happen right here, right? There was a possible sweep right here that happened off the sessions. So we identified this here as a possible sweep area. Now that we've identified this as a possible sweep area, the next thing to look for would be an MPSV2, right? Which would be right here. There's actually an MPSV2 that's currently running right now. And after this MPSV2 is done, we would be looking for another sweep, right? And that's kind of what I'm aiming for up here. So this doesn't necessarily mean it's got to hit, but this is just the pattern that we're looking for. We're looking for price to kind of just sweep, push in another direction, and then sweep again. Um, Obviously, like I said earlier this week, if you guys looked at my weekly trading plan right here, I covered this on Sunday. I mentioned that I'm going to prioritize liquidity sweep setups, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm using the MPS V2s to identify direction. And then once I have that direction, so for example, here, if we had the direction here for MPS V2, I'd be looking for this to push up and then sweep for my level up here. This is going to be my next area of sweep, somewhere within this vicinity. I'm not really looking to take MPS V2s right now because, like I said, our report said earlier today that we're going to be in a ranging market. You don't really want to trade directional strategies when you're in a ranging market, right? So just stick to the game plan, guys. And my main goal here is really to focus on sweeps that follow after MPS V2s. So I'll be, I'll be following that. Yeah, PC said I'm loving this AI fundamental analysis. That's based off what it knows, though. It probably doesn't know about the Kodikai systems. Your system is good for scalping. Yeah, no, and I agree, 100%. Which is what's good for like a lot of these funding companies, PC. The yeah, it doesn't know exactly what my system. Well, it sort of does. So what I did was I spit my code into the AI and then I basically let it know that these are like the main strategies we apply. So it knows what strategies we're applying. And what I did is I try to compare it to what they considered, the high quality, more consistent setups for funding trade. Because obviously, trading with funding companies and trading your personal account is completely different. Because when you trade your personal account, you don't have trailing drawdowns or I mean, you don't have, static drawdowns and stuff like that. You kind of just trade it at your own risk. But with these funding companies, you kind of have to turn over a profit. So like when you trade with Apex and stuff like that, to be consistent, one to ones probably work better, or like 1 to 5, 1.5, stuff like that, so that you can kind of flip a profit and then not cut into your trailing drawdown as much. So yeah, you're right. It probably just bases it off historical data. Um, but I'm trying to get it to learn my specific strategies and my things that I'm applying here so that it can get smarter and then it can probably let me know what should be used and what shouldn't be used. Because it's been pretty good lately. Like for example, like my data set over here, it said that price is going to be range bound. That's exactly what price is doing here, right? It's pretty much range bound. We would have already known this was going to happen because of the obviously the news that's coming out today. But I like that my reports here identify that this was going to be the case, and now I can focus mainly on sweeps versus MPS V2s. So I would just uh I would just focus on sweeps for today, guys. So there's another sweep that happened right here. I mean, this is I mean, obviously it swept off liquidity, right? So I will mark this up as a sweep just so that we can follow. There hasn't been MPS V2s in between, which is completely fine. You know, this is just the market that we're currently in right now. We're in a range bound market and possibly another sweep right here, not off liquidity, but off this VWAP zone price magnet. ATR is currently at 22 right now, so you can see there's just a bunch of sweeps that are happening back and forth. There's just no sweeps where I want to take them. So there's sweeps that are happening, but they're just not in areas where I'm looking to get into because I want to have some sort of confluence there at least, you know, when I'm taking these sweeps. Let's see, Talanji said I got 20 off the 42,629, so you forgot to remove pending order after you said there's no confluence, but it still hit. Nice. So yeah, Talanji got a sweep down here at the upper area right here. Nice work, Solange. I would have taken that sweep there, but there just wasn't any confluence for me to take. You know, looking at my data set over here, there just wasn't anything around that area, which is completely fine. It's just for me, I'm a little bit more on the safer side. But that's probably like the best option for a sweep there, of course. I'm trying to get in up here. The price hasn't gotten up here yet. We're getting closer to 7 o'clock. As you guys know, as we get closer to 7 o'clock, the volatility tends to die down a little bit. So we'll see what happens next. Let's see. Sam said he took a stop on the MPS V2. All good, Sam. Yeah, the MPS V2s are going to be a little tricky today, guys, because of the range-bound market. But it's all good. I mean, it could have went any way, right, Sam? Sam takes a lot of these entries, and for whatever reason, the market loves to work with Sam. So, like, Sam does get these entries even though they're risky. So it's all good. It's the cost of playing in this market today. I'm hoping we do get some MPS V2s that do hit though, because I do want them to follow through. Like for example, I would like an MPS V2 to really push up here. And then when it does, I really want to catch that sweep back down. I just need that confluence. I think that's a key thing that I'm kind of focused on right here. It's going to be looking for that confluence. But it looks like I mean, it looks like price is really respecting this price magnet that we have down here. You know, price pushes away, comes back down, bounces right off the magnet. It's technically two price magnets here. This is a VWAP price magnet, and this is a point of control price magnet with regard to volume. Also got opening price right there. All right, cleaning this up a little bit. So looking at this here, this looks like the range right here down the middle. This is the range. We have a possible sweep level down here. It'll line up with the price magnet. Yeah, Sam said, my job is to analyze and take trades based on risk management as long as at the end I'm profitable. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Losses are part of the game, you know. I think that's a once you understand that, not you specifically, Sam, but in general, once a trader understands that, you know, this is a this is a risk management game. I mean, you're really just a risk management when you're trading. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday too at the gym because he's a trader as well. And I mentioned to him like it's not really based on like focusing on winning trades, right? It's really based on focusing on managing risk. So not necessarily winning every single trade, but trying to avoid as many losses as possible, following your system and ending up profitable at the end of the month. Because this one guy was saying like he wants to make like 1,000 a day or like 3,000 a day, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's possible, but you can't think like that. You got to think about making like maybe like 20,000 at the end of the month, not or at the end of the week, maybe 5 or 10,000 versus making profit every day. Because if you guys are profit chasing daily, like if you just want to lock in profit every single day, it's not really realistic, honestly. It's when you start to think that way, you start to revenge trade, you start to overtrade, you try to like, meet that quota for the day. And when you trade that way, that's how you mess with your trade psychology. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. How far are we from this area? Maybe another sweep right here, it looks like. Yeah, possibly another sweep right here. 671 is going to be my possible sweep area from above. I don't know if price is actually going to get that high, but I mean, I'll follow it. Or let's put my limit order up there. But yeah, I don't know if price will get that high. We have a possible sweep happening right here, but there's going to be a lot of levels of sweep up here. So when price reaches this point, price may sweep from this first level, it may sweep from the second level, or it may sweep from this third level up here. Obviously, I'm going to go for the farthest level above. So I got my penny order up there, although the sweep might happen right here. Okay, so there's two different setups here that may be setting up for. We may get a possible MPSV2 actually. So we got a buy signal, retracement, possible green candle confirmation right here. If this green candle closes above this area right here, this is going to be an MPSV2. So best case scenario, that's like what I'd like to see here. If we do get an MPSV2 right there, I would see this push up to my sweep area above. So MPSV2 push up and then sweep from here and come right back down. This would be like perfect setup because it lines up exactly how I want it to. Let's see, Lila said, bro, trying to hit the jackpot with this AI assistance. The king still lives. Yeah, definitely. Uh, it's like it's crazy because like a lot of people talk about how AI is the future. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how useful AI is, not just with trading, but like with a lot of things in general. It can automate so many things. If you have any questions, if you wanted to test your strategy or tell you how to improve on your strategy, it can help you with so much. Like if you want to figure out what other people are applying, you can even ask AI, like, what's the most popular strategy right now that's actually profitable? And it'll tell you. The thing is, you don't want to chase the trends though. You want to stick to what you're doing. Like, for example, this is the way we trade. Uh, and we're just going to stick to it, but we're going to use AI to assist us with improving and getting better, of course. So price is pushing away from the VWAP now. It's pushing away a little far. So at this point, I think we're getting close to an area where sweep a sweep might happen. Not exactly here. I mean, the sweep can happen right here, but I'm looking for a possible sweep which may happen up here. So the MPS V2 is currently running right now in profit, guys. Um, ATR is currently at 20, so you might want to go for a smaller target, maybe 20 points. 20 already got hit right there. If you want to go for 30, great. But if you want to go for, something safe, I'd base it out to ATR. So we'll continue following it here. See, the thing that I don't agree with AI, because I was trying to figure out if we can like kind of tighten the stop loss a little bit. They want us to use a 10-point stop loss or like a 5-point. I know it makes sense, but like in a sense it doesn't because there's a lot of slippage here. It's easy to get stopped out if your stop is that tight. 15 may be okay. I think 10 might still be a little too tight, specifically for like these early morning sessions, because we do get a lot of choppiness. All right, so it's MPSV2 looks like it just hit. I don't know if 30 points got hit already. Yeah. So 30 points right there got hit. We'll see if the sweep happens down here. If it happens down here, it's fine. I'll just cancel my order. My order is up here at the higher level. So I always try to get my sweep in at the highest level, which is 42,671. Hasn't filled mine yet. Got close to it, but not quite. All right, so I filled my sweep right there. If this doesn't hit, then the next level will probably get hit up here. So if that's the case, it's fine. I'll get in for a higher sweep. I'm still taking third risk, I think, yeah, third of my risk per trade. So I'm not really risking too much. So this is going to be a 30-point target. I'm going to put the 20-point target right here so I have an idea of where the 20 points is at. So I'm just going to see how price reacts to this sweep area. So my sweep's currently active, running in profit. Let's see how it reacts to this area because it's currently at the session. So this is kind of like a tricky area where price manipulation may happen. Obviously, I want the price manipulation to happen. We usually don't want price manipulation to happen here, but I personally do because I'm looking for this here to come right back down. So a lot of times we try to avoid price manipulation, but here I do want price manipulation to happen. So I want price to come up, manipulate, come right back down. That's why the sweeps here are kind of interesting because they work opposite of MPS V2s. So for MPS V2s, we want no price manipulation. We want price to push in that direction. For the sweeps, we want the price manipulation so that we can get this here. So we got price pushing down right now. Once it gets to the 20, I'll probably move my stop loss in profit. All right, I'll move my stop loss in profit now. So my stop loss is in profit right there. We've already reached 20 points. You can see my stop is right there in profit. See if I go for that full 30. I might get stopped out here in profit. We'll see. Okay, I'm out in profit. It's all good. Made a slight profit right there. Should have went for the 20, but it's all good. So stopped out in profit right there. I got in from that area. I should have got it out at the 20, but it was okay. Once it hit 20 right there, I was like, all right, for sure. I'll move my stop loss right here where this red candle was. And then I'll try to go down to the 30, but I'm happy with my slight profit right there. I'll wait for the next entry. All right, so full TP for 20. It looks like a lot of you guys here caught that. So nice. Sam got it. He got this 20 sell sweep. Nice. Kyle got it for 20. Jonathan got it for 20. Shiv got it for 20. Christian too. All right, perfect, guys. Nice work. Yeah, I was gonna try to hold it for the 30 because the drop here just looked pretty good. It looked like it was gonna just break right through. The thing is, price got stuck right here at the sessions, which is what I was saying earlier. Um, and I got out for a small profit. I'll take it. Profit's profit for me, guys. The ATR is currently at 20. So here's the thing. Yesterday we went for the full 30, but the ATR was like closer to 25, right? So it was like easier to go for those 30 points. But because the ATR here was at 20 or it was below 20, 20 probably would have been the better number. But it works. It works. And we'll move on to the next one here. So pretty good day so far, guys. Lots of wins here. I try to get that entry in before 7 o'clock. Like I said earlier, 7 o'clock hits and the market volatility starts to die down quite a bit. So solid profit here from Christian. So Christian locked in 285. Nice work, Christian. And CJ got it for 20 points as well. Nice. You guys did pretty good. See, I wouldn't be surprised here if this thing drops down to the 30. Thing is, I wouldn't hold on to it for too long because this trade was already running for about 5 minutes. We'll keep following it, but the 20 did get hit right there. All right, so Christian locked in 285 for the day. Nice for Christian. I locked in. We'll see. Let me see. I'm going to update my trader sync. So again, these are my stats for the year so far. Are currently at 412,310. And then for the week so far, I'm currently up 24,000 plus this win here. So I'll add this to my list of wins for the day. Let me just update my trader sync. I just don't want to do the math. The math takes forever. So I'll let that load up. Okay, so now that we're done with this level here, guys, we don't really have any other sweep levels here at the moment. So I'll keep looking here. Again, my main focus is going to be sweeps for the most part because we're technically in a ranging market. Here's the other thing too. So with my report today, my report's actually pretty spot on with regard to the direction of our bias, right? If you look at my report from this morning, it said over here, slightly bullish lean intraday. And that's exactly what's happening here, right? We're having a slightly bullish lean intraday. It's not super bullish, but it's bullish enough for us to get into those sweeps. So here goes that sweep again. See, this is why you got to be smart and proactive with your setups and your entries. Because the thing is, the trade could be running forever, right? The sweep could be running for like 10, 20, 30 minutes. But you don't want to be holding on to it for 20, 30 minutes, right? You want to get in and out within a few minutes, if not a few seconds. It's the whole point of the sweep. So again, yeah, the trade here is still running. This is probably going to hit the 30 mark. If it does, great. If it doesn't, that's completely fine. You know, I'm already out in profit. You guys are out in profit. But you guys can see here that we're in this type of market where we get in a lot of this chop, which is fine. This is a summer market. This is what you should expect in a summer market. Um, so just got to be a little smart about it. And we're going to keep adapting as the market continues to change over the year. Here's shifts profits for the day. Get this on there. It looks like the 30 got hit, guys. So my analysis was right. It's just my stop loss was in profit a little too early. So yeah, 30 right there. It looks like it's about to get hit. There you go. Full 30 on that sweep. Not bad. The analysis is just spot on. It's crazy like using AI to help me now with my because the thing is like I wouldn't have taken this entry here unless I had that confluence, right? Which I did. We had the confluence, which was the overnight high. Thankfully, my report over here had that on there, and then we were able to identify it and take it spot on. We pretty much sniped that entry right there for a sweep. Not specifically because it was at the overnight high, but because I had liquidity sitting there. So I took it again. I took this based off liquidity, not the overnight high. The overnight high here was my confluence. And luckily I had that there because if I didn't have that there, I could have entered anywhere lower, which is not a problem. I still would have won the trade, but we were more spot on right here than we would have if we entered, around the sessions. All right, so here is Shiv's profits for the day. So Shiv over here said 3 trades, 300 risk. I changed his risk per trade again. Took a few losses last week and this week. Yeah, so he's here for the long game, he mentioned. Yeah, right here, 100 bucks. Not bad. I mean, profit's profit, Shiv. Like these small wins here. This is also one thing that you guys want to keep in mind. Like these small wins here this is going to help with your confidence moving forward, right? If you have a couple wins here and there, this is going to keep you confident to keep pushing for the week, right? If you had a bunch of losses for the week, you're going to feel nervous. You're going to feel that you want to overtrade, that you want to make that money back. But if you can keep like locking in these smaller wins, um, you're going to feel comfortable next week, right? Yeah, Shiv said exactly, bro. I feel a bit iffy, but with lower risk, I can take earlier entries and take up to 3 trades per day. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm doing, bro. I've I typically try to go for just one entry per day, but I've pretty much half my risk into a third. So I can take about 2 or 3 entries per day with no problem. I don't have to like be worried about anything. All right, my trader sync is still updating. Once it's done, I'll show you guys my stats for the. I could take a screenshot of it here too. All right, got my stats over here. I didn't even post a trade. Here, let me post it real quick. Feels good that we have a system in place that's working really well, and then also that we have confirmation from AI that this is like what's repeatable or what's been repeatable um, for most traders. Obviously, it's going to be a little different because my strategy is slightly different. Like my liquidity sweep isn't the same as everyone else's, right? Um, which is fine. I mean, obviously, not everybody has my indicators, so they're not able to see what I see. But it's pretty similar in just like people use VWAP for the most part, but we use momentum. And then for liquidity, some people use, they use like supply and demand and stuff like that. For me, I use my high lows. So there's different ways of doing it, but at the end of the day, it's the same concept. You're looking for price to kind of push up, overextend, and then sweep at areas where manipulation tends to happen. So as long as you guys can keep those principles in place, whether you're using my strategies or using your own, it's completely fine. We're all looking at the same thing here. It's just our entries might be slightly different and slightly off, which is good because then we get to see other people's aspects, right? Like Sam, for example, Sam always asks me for certain levels. He asks if I have confluences or if I have liquidity around that area. It's perfect because then we'll have even more confluences that way. Shiv is asking, Sean, have you ever used book maps? So I haven't used book maps before. Or no, I have. So I take that back. I have used book maps. I think it's useful, but I think it's a little overkill, right? I think just depends on like how deep of analysis you want. Because the thing is like you could have like the perfect 1000% analysis, but the market will still get manipulated at a certain point, right? Like you can have the perfect numbers, you can look at the delta, you can see it's flipping, and then price will still stop you out. So yeah, I've used book maps before, but I felt like for me specifically, because like for me, I like to put pending orders, right? Um, like, see how I just put pending orders there? For book maps, you would have to wait for price to actually reject off it and then look for a confirmation. So, like, if someone was to use book maps, they probably would have gotten in a little lower, like right here, or like right here, right? Which would have probably lost. Um, so yeah, I think book maps is good and it's useful if that's what you're looking for. Uh, the book maps is actually what people use for the VWAP rejections, Shiv. So like traditionally, if because not everybody has my indicators, of course, like I said, traditionally what they would look for is they look for price to kind of like bounce off, either VWAP or structure and stuff like that, and then they wait for the confirmation before getting in. For me, I don't really wait for confirmation. I just get in right away, or I have my pending order there. So, maybe in the future I might incorporate a book map analysis, but the thing is, I'm already looking at so much stuff that I think it's just a little overkill in a sense. And then it kind of gives you trader what's called analysis paralysis, right? Because if you have too many confluences or too many things to look at, like if things are conflicting, you might it'll prevent you from getting into an entry. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Visually looking at it, 100%. So yeah, maybe in the future I might incorporate it. Maybe once I get a bigger monitor so I can have everything on the screen. But yeah, as of now, I'm probably not gonna use it or have any use for it at the moment. Damn, Narith over here killed it. Look at Narith's profits, guys. So Narith over here, and I saw your question right there, CJ. Give me 1 second. I'll address it. So here are my profits, guys. So I locked in about 120 per account here. My second half of the account, 120. So not a crazy amount that I locked in today because I just moved my stop loss in profit, but overall pretty good. Here's Narith. Narith locked in. Damn, killed it. So 1,900 on the first account, 1,700 on the rest of accounts. So well over 20K here, maybe 25K or so. Solid work right there, Narith. Man, he's on fire today. Killed it. All right, there's no entries right now, guys. We're currently at a resistance. So with this said, we'll probably see another possible sweep. The thing is, there's no liquidity up here, so there's not really any sweep areas for me to get in from unless you want to just bounce off, resistance here. What I would possibly look for is maybe look for price to sweep and then look for the MPSV2 back down. This looks like it might be a sweep right here. Just a straight sweep off resistance on its way down. All right, so CJ said I've been going back looking at sessions that I missed while I was on vacation to pinpoint how to properly mark up the sweeps. So the way that I mark up the sweeps, CJ, is I look for, so what I do initially is basically what we already did is what we marked up liquidity, right? So I initially mark up liquidity here, and in order for me to identify those liquidity as sweeps, I look for confluences. So I look for any confluence. It doesn't have to be these zones. It doesn't have to be resistance. It doesn't have to be support. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, right? It can be an overnight high. It can be a sessions. It could be opening price. It could be news price. It could be resistance. It could be support. It could be VWAP. It could be anything. Um, what you want to look for is you just want to look for some sort of confluence. So the entry, of course, is going to be at one of these liquidity areas. But what you want to add on top of that is you want to have some sort of confluence, right? And then you typically want to get the farthest confluence or the farthest liquidity that ties in with that confluence. So for example, here, if I was trying to get in from the VWAP zone, I wouldn't try to get in from the first one. I would try to get in from the second one, right? This kind of puts you at a disadvantage, though. It puts you at an advantage, but also at a disadvantage. It puts you at an advantage because you're not going to get in too late. I would try to get in down here. So I would try to get in at the lower point because I wouldn't want it. I don't want to go into drawdown. That's the thing. But you'll be at a disadvantage because sometimes price will just sweep here and never get to that lower level. Does that make sense, CJ? So basically, you're just trying to look at the sweep levels that are lined up with other confluences, and I try to go for the farthest one. That's why for this one over here, there was about like 3 levels, but I got in at the farthest one up here. But then, you kind of got to take a risk. Like it's either you take the riskier trade and then possibly go into drawdown, or you take the farthest trade, which is what I did here, and I got literally no drawdown. So it just filled my order and then it went straight down. Yeah. Yeah, I try to make it make sense. I try to make, it's like that saying, make it make sense. That's really what it is. It's like keep it logical, keep it simple, but make it make sense. Um, that's the thing with trading. It's like a lot of people want to overcomplicate it, but like not to say that like supply and demand is overcomplicating it because I know some people like to use it like Brock specifically, but again, like I said earlier, it's like overkill, right? You don't want to overkill because you don't want to have analysis paralysis. You just want to have enough confluences and enough to take the entry without having to like be too scared not to take it. All right, so there's a possible sweep right here that happened, guys. There was no sweep here for me specifically to take, but I just wanted to mark this up in case we got an MPSV2 to follow. CJ said during the lives, I just follow you on the sweeps, even though there are other opportunities, but I like learning how to properly mark up things on my own. Yeah, no, definitely, CJ. So what I would recommend, guys, and this goes to everybody here, um, what I recommend is get on a little earlier, closer to like 6 o'clock, if not before 6 o'clock. Go to the Discord and then go to daily outlooks. So right here, I'll post the PDF. When you pull up that PDF, go down to my major trading levels to watch, and then just mark up those levels and those zones. These are going to be your main confluences. On top of those confluences, you can also use market profile if that's something you want to use, right? Again, like I said, you don't want to overkill it, but if there's no zones around here, like for example, if we didn't have a resistance right here, and this was just all white area, like say for example, it was like this right here, right? If I had nothing to look at as a confluence, then okay, in that situation, I would go over to market profile and I'm like, okay, where are the zones here on market profile? Then in that situation, I would mark up the zones and then I would look for my possible sweeps around those areas. We got the MPSV2 right here currently running, guys. Thanks, Sam, for the heads up. Yeah, Sam said he didn't take, but triple confluence buy failed for the record. Definitely. All right, so we got an MPSV2 running right here above the resistance. Again, the analysis from this morning is working out pretty nice. If you guys can see over here from the uh, the key biases for today. Again, we're looking for a slightly bullish lean, right? That's exactly what's happening here. So we got price pushing up a little further. As price continues to climb up, this could be very useful for preparing for buy entries or not being scared with buy entries. I think for this here, maybe 20 points would probably be best again, or even less, maybe 15. No, the ATR is at 21, so I think 20 could be good. The only problem here is that it's in the resistance, right? That's what makes it tricky. If there were sweep levels here, I would mark them up, but there's just no sweep levels here. So what I want to see here is I want this to push up at least 20 points, establish a high there, maybe come back up, and then come back down. Let's go, Sam. Almost at your 20 points. There you go. Full TP, bro. You're out. Got it at 15. Okay. I was rooting for you, bro. I thought you were in there for 20. That's why my analysis, I was kind of skewing my analysis for you specifically. Because yeah, I'd be, like you said, it's kind of tricky because of the resistance right here. So yeah, 15 would have made more sense because just want to get out quickly. But yeah, the 20 right there played out nice. Visual said 2 minute opening range produced another 100 points last 10 days. Only one day was a loss. Nice work, Visual. Yeah, you've been killing with the orbs. I know you've been focused on those. Orbs are great, guys. I like orbs during these types of markets, right? I think these types of orb, it depends on what type of orb you're applying. There's orbs and then there's orfs, right? ORB and then ORF. ORB is like where they actually break out, and then ORF, there's either opening range breakout or there's opening uh range fake out. But the breakouts have been working because like they've been directional, right? So that's another thing that you guys can use as your advantage. Look at my reports here. If my reports say slightly bullish, I mean, that could be the case if you're looking for an orb. You just catch that orb to the upside. But it did push up pretty nice. So price kind of went this way, then it broke above it right there. Yeah, sweet push to the upside right there, 100 points. There's an A++ setup right here. Sam just identified above the resistance. Price might actually keep pushing up higher because we're above the resistance now. So if price can hold above the resistance right here, I think price can push up higher from this point. A lot of good entries today, guys. It's only 7:17 too. It's weird. I felt like I swear it felt like it was closer to 8 o'clock already, but it's only 7:17. And there you go, another full TP right there. It looks like 30 points would have gotten hit on both of these actually. Yeah, both. All right, so we're getting a stride to the upside now. Pretty nice stride to the upside right here. Dude, I don't know what's up with the Trader Sync, but they take forever to update. Let me see if it's ready yet. It still says it's updating, but I think it should be done by now. Yeah, it's done. So I didn't make a crazy amount of profit for the day. Let me move this over. Yeah. So there are my profits for the day, guys. I locked in 3,200. Not a crazy amount because I just moved my stop loss and profit. It was very minimal. But profit's profit. So there's my profits for the day, 3,200. This is only a portion of my accounts though. So it's missing a couple of my other accounts. I just haven't been uploading all of them because it's just it's a headache. It's so much work for me to upload them to the Trader Sync. Maybe at the end of the week, I'll pretty much upload all of them, but for the most part, I just have my Apex accounts. So yeah, these are my profits for the day. These are my total profits. I have more accounts here, but these are my profits for like mainly my Apex. So I locked in 3,200, probably closer to 5,000 if you were to include all of my accounts. But we're pretty good. We're on a pretty decent win streak for the week so far. All right, and with that said, we got price pushing up higher. So while we do that, I'm gonna do some stuff behind the scenes right now. All right, there's no entries for us to take right now. So I will be waiting. And get this thing on. All right, so we got price pushing up right there. There's no other entries available. We need to have some sort of retracement before before we can take anything else here, of course. So we'll see. All right, we got price kind of sitting up here right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's just not much going on right now. Yeah, Sam said I'm done for the day, but watch. Yeah, so he's just gonna keep watching. Same with me. I don't know if I'm gonna see anything else here because there's no liquidity up here. So I don't think there's gonna be any sweeps. There's also no confluences up here either for me at this moment at all. So if we do get a setup, great, but I think price might kind of sit around here for a bit, especially because we have FOMC today. So this is why I was saying, entries should happen like before 7 for me specifically, because once 7 o'clock hits, then it starts to flatten out and it starts to go sideways. One thing to pay attention to is going to be the ATR down below, right? The ATR is currently at 21 right now. Keep an eye out on that because that is going to that's going to show that market is slowing down for sure. All right. All right. Other than that, price is still pushing up. So if price continues to push up, this high is not going to be established, and we're just going to keep moving it higher and higher with price. We'll see. All right. We got price just kind of sitting around here. I'll keep moving it up as it moves up higher, guys, but there's no MPSV2s, there's no A++ setups. We're kind of just waiting for this to retrace down. We got price pushing up higher. We got liquidity coming up right here, guys. The thing with this liquidity is that there's no confluences around this area. 42,851. I mean, look at this huge candle on the 30-minute. It's due for retracement. So let me go over here to the monthly. We're getting close to the monthly resistance. So the monthly resistance is going to be over here between, let's see, 42,900 and 43,000. So I guess I could mark that up here. What was it? 43. 42,900. Okay, we're getting closer to the monthly resistance up here. Okay, so as we get closer to the monthly resistance, obviously my area for sweep would probably be up here. There's going to be a couple different areas for sweep here. These are a little spread out. So again, like I said earlier to CJ, it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. This is about a 58 point gap between this lower liquidity and this level up here. So depending on like where you want to get in from, or if you want to take it even riskier, you can get in here from the sessions. Right, so there's possible sweep areas right here from here. If you want to get in from the monthly resistance up here or up here. A lot of different opportunities. Weekly resistance is a little higher right here at 950. Yeah, I mean, same difference, right? Same difference. Weekly resistance a little higher, monthly resistance is a little lower. So depending on where you want to get in from, it's 7:30 right now, so we're getting closer to 8 o'clock. As you can see here, the volatility is starting to slow down a little bit. If that's the case, completely fine. Might see a turnaround right here and see it come back down. But we'll thanks, Shiv. Yeah, CJ was asking what this VWAP stand for. Yeah, VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. Basically, what the VWAP is used for is it acts as a magnet. So, like when price pushes too far from the VWAP, it tends to pull back to the VWAP. It's used for a lot of mean reversion strategies. So, like reversal strategies, basically, you're looking. A lot of people tend to but the thing is, so the mean reversion didn't really, I don't think it'd be useful here right now because it would have just lost every time. Like price pushed away right here, we had a reversal pattern. And then if people would have identified this or looked for this to push down to the VWAP, they would have gone stopped out because price pushed right back up. Same with this one over here, right? It's not a full-on reversal. That's why for me personally, I try to look for liquidity sweeps and I'll try to get in from the sweeps, not from the actual candle close reversals. All right. What thing to do here. And literally while we were on this live session, I was able to get AI to basically set up my Instagram post for the day. One thing that I hate doing, guys, is I hate like having to deal with social media. But while we were waiting for nothing here to happen, basically I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to produce uh basically a whole Instagram post for me. Yeah, so if you guys want to see it on the Instagram, it actually came out pretty clean. Let me see where it's at. If I can get the link on here. Yeah, Sam said same. Social media is draining for me. Draining for me. Yeah, honestly, I hate going on social media to like do stuff like that, but now that I found ways to like pretty much automate it, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so like literally I just did this right now while we were waiting. So here's the Instagram page for Cody Kai Trades. This thing right here. Literally everything. Description, thumbnail, the plan. And AI is crazy, guys. If you guys haven't touched in with AI, like this is all done right now. It's pretty nuts. So maybe I'll be active on social media again. It's getting better. You can see it kind of got better over time. Like this was the initial one, and then this was the one from yesterday. It gets better with time, but I think today's was like probably the best one. Nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy what AI can do. All right, so we got nothing here right now, guys. Price is kind of just sitting around this area. Again, if you're looking for a sweep area is probably gonna be around this upper area over here. And it's probably gonna be the main areas for me to look at. Basically around this area up here and this area down here. I probably wouldn't take any sweeps down here where price is currently at. I mean, these highs still haven't been fully established yet. So there's gonna be a possible liquidity area right here, but I wouldn't take a sweep right here. If you want to take a really risky sweep, you can take it from right here at the sessions. The second level, of course, would be right here, but the one I'm looking for is like way up here. It's not super far up, but it's far enough. It's 130 points. So we've got some time here. So we got volatility here kind of flattened out a little bit, not really too much going on. We are just waiting for something here to present itself, but it's going to take some time. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I don't think there's not much that's going to happen here. You can see the volatility starting to die down. The ATR is now at 19, so it has flattened out quite a bit. Right. Looks like price is bouncing off that liquidity right there. Maybe that'll be the sweep. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right, guys, market's pretty dead right now. ATR is down to 18. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's really nothing to look at here. If you guys want to take a sweep, just wait for price to get to these upper levels. I wouldn't take a sweep right here. I mean, there's a possible sweep happening at the moment as we speak, but with this low volatility, it's not really worth it. I mean, it looks like it hit 20 points already, though. So if you guys went for 20, yeah, 20 points got hit right there. We'll keep following it. All right. So let's see if price pushes down from here. It's not really looking like it's going to, but I mean, it looks like it might just sit up here for a while. Thing is, we have we got the Fed news later, so that's why I think price here is going to flatten out. The ATR hasn't dropped too much yet. It's currently at 19, so it's been pretty stable around this current ATR. And as soon as I said that, it dropped down to 17. So we'll see in a few. The ATR is currently at 18 right now, so it is not around 20, but it is still pretty decently consistent. Hey guys, let's see what we got here. Price is pushing back up. Still waiting for some sort of volatility here. All right. Again, no updates here at the moment. All right, we got price pretty much ranging and consolidating down the middle right here. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. The ATR is kind of just sitting around 18. If anything, this will probably drop down to 17, 16, 16, 17, and then stay around there until maybe 11 o'clock. The Fed meeting is later today at, let's see, yeah, 11 o'clock our time, or Pacific time. So once that comes out, you'll probably see some movement. Again, if you guys want to trade that, I would probably wait until after for the press conference because you're gonna see some pretty big movement. Of course, people are gonna be gambling in the market. You don't want to get caught in that, but if you do get caught in it, try to make sure that you're on the right side of the market when that does happen because it's gonna happen. Yeah, pretty flat market now. All right, we got price pushing up a little bit right now, but there's nothing to work with here, so it doesn't really matter too much. Let's take a look at our charts again. So we're currently still pushing up to the monthly resistance. We're not there yet, but we're getting pretty close to it. Monthly resistance is right here at 42,900. And then we got price pushing up to the weekly resistance, which is also right here. Again, if you guys are new here, if you guys want access to these PDFs, my PDFs pretty much cover everything that you need to know about YM. If you want to trade YM on the monthly, I have the monthly markup right here. Basically all the data here for the month. If you want to look for the weekly, every week I put up the data as well. So all this data here is available to you guys completely free. I'm just giving out this because this is going to help me get better. So like I'm going to keep creating these PDFs, and if there's anything I need to change, obviously let me know. Or if you need me to improve on something, let me know. I'm just trying to get better at like doing a full analysis of the market. Before I would just go on basically, whatever technicals were going on. But now that we have an idea of like what's going on monthly, weekly, and daily, so you can see over here, it's like it's pretty detailed. I have like June for the month. I mark up my zones and my levels for June, and then I go down to the week. Every week I have a new PDF with all the zones, and then for the day I mark up my zones here as well. So with this, it helps us really understand where we're aiming for, right? So right now it looks like prices are kind of just climbing up, but realistically it's pushing up to the weekly resistance. And then once price reaches this area, it's going to push up into the monthly resistance. And then what can we look for here? Possible sweeps from the monthly resistance and possible sweeps from the weekly resistance. Just a heads up, guys, tomorrow's a holiday, so markets will be closed. Looks like Sam here is done for the day. Sam said, see you, Sean, on Friday. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. Definitely, Sam, we'll see you back here on Friday. So no live trading tomorrow, guys. Juneteenth is a federal holiday, so markets will be closed. They'll be open partially, but technically they're gonna be closed. Volatility will be too low, so there's no point in trading. Um, I do have a mentoring session for today. I think Ben, I sent you a message if you can check it. The mentoring session won't be at 2 o'clock. It was initially scheduled for 2 o'clock, but I'm gonna have to adjust it with Ben. So I'm gonna try to get the times right with Ben. If it doesn't work out today, we'll kind of push it till tomorrow. But Yeah, Ben, if when you get a chance to check your Discord messages, I forgot I had something scheduled for 2 o'clock, so unfortunately I can't have the mentoring session at 2 o'clock today. We got some team profits here from Jonathan. Jonathan locked in 188 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. Solid profits. Yeah, you guys killed it today. It seems like you guys here are really liking my analysis with regard to the sweeps. So I'm going to keep on doing the sweeps. Sweeps work perfect in these summer markets because we have a lot of choppiness and a lot of back and forth. So I'll continue to look for these liquidity sweeps, throughout the year. We're still going to look at MPSV2s, but obviously this type of market that we're currently in, um, the sweeps are going to be they're going to be more prevalent versus taking just MPS V2s because we're not really in a directional market as much. Yeah, thanks, Ben, for checking it out. I'll talk to you about it in a few. But all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat right now. Looks like I'm going to wrap this up a little bit early because there's just nothing going on here. I don't want you guys to force any trades here in this consolidation. If we had some directional move, then great. But as of now, it's just not a good time to trade. If you guys want to take some sweeps, first level of sweep will be up here at 42,975. This is going to be a 30-point sweep. If you want to drop it down to 20, depending on the ATR, you can do that. But this is where I would take the sweep if I was to take it. If you want to take it a little bit riskier, you can take it from this lower level right here, which is at the sessions. It's at 42,890. And if you want to get around a midway point, you can get in right here at 42,918. So two levels of sweep right there, or three levels actually, possibly one right there, possibly one right there, and possibly one right there. So it's just up to preference, guys, wherever you would like to get into the sweep from. Obviously, I mean, price is pretty far off right now from the VWAP. Let's just measure real quick. I mean, it's pretty far, so it's due for retracement. It's 200 points away from the VWAP right now. So it looks like price here is trying to turn. I mean, it could possibly turn from here, make its way back down, or it can just sit up here and wait until the Fed meeting at 11 o'clock. So, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the day. There's nothing else for me to take here at the moment. Again, these are my profits for the day. I locked in 3,200 across my Apex accounts. I locked in a little more, so closer to probably 5,000. These are all of my accounts right here. First set, second set. Great day so far and overall. So let me take a screenshot of all the entries for today because today was a pretty good day. If you guys look at it here, it's pretty it was pretty solid. It was about 1, 2, 3. So plus the breakout. So breakout over here also hit for 50 points. Or I'll put this in the stats too so that you guys can see it. This breakout for today. I know some of you guys still like to take the breakout, so I will put that over here for those of you who want to follow it and continue following it. So there goes a breakout right there. And then also all of the entries for today. So looking at the entries for today, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 entries for the day, all wins. There was one MPSV2 that lost. I forgot where it was marked up, but basically 9 wins, 1 loss overall for the day. All entries that showed up during our live session. You got to keep in mind, you only need about 1 or 2 trades per day, guys. 1 or 2 trades per day will get you in the money for the week or for the day at least. Because if you take 1 to 3 trades or 1 to 2 trades, you can either end up the day break even or you end up the day in profit, like heavily in profit. So guys, like I said, just stick to the game plan. There's no need to force anything here, especially in a market like this. We got the Fed meeting later today, so yeah, no need to take anything you might regret. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, looks like today was a pretty good day. Hopefully, Friday will be another good day. Just another reminder, tomorrow is a holiday, so no live trading. But if you guys do want to hit me up, I'll still be available on Discord. So, all All right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on Friday for market open.